right. So how are you today?
I'm doing awesome. I'm excited to be here with you. I'm just excited.
Likewise, likewise. We're gonna get right into it because we definitely have some things to talk about. Like you have been on a music journey, and I mean, you got into music really early on. Tell us a
Yes.
little bit about that.
Yeah, so, well, my dad, he's a musician. He's an amazing musician. He's played for artists like Eugene Wild, Betty Wright. So, I mean, and he plays everything, bass, saxophone, piano, all of that. So, of course, like I was born into it, literally. So, ever since I was a baby, he had me in studios because he was a single father. So, he would carry me to the studios with him. So, yeah, like it's built in me.
Girl dad, I love that. I love that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so I mean, and I feel like every artist has that moment when they realize, okay, music is my thing. This is what I want to do. This is what I meant to do. What was that moment for you? Because I know you went to Clark Atlanta.
Yes, I did. I
Yeah, yeah. So
did.
what was that moment for you?
Well, like I said, like I was like born into it, so I never imagined not doing music. I was, singing, help like my dad had me on the mic when I could start talking, just like singing songs and playing around. So honestly, there was never a time that I
Mm.
could remember where I did not, think about this is my path, this is what I'm doing. So I would say since I was able to talk, it's just been this is it. This is my destiny for
Yeah.
sure.
Do you have
Yeah.
like a song that like your first memory of a song where it's like, oh, this is it. This is my song.
Well, I do remember, I do remember a song. I forgot how old I was. Maybe I was like 7 or something. It was called Every Day, and it was like a gospel song. It was like Every Day I praise the Lord. It was just so cute.
Listen, there's something about our grow up in the church and got their musical start in the
Yeah.
church. We can get into it, but we won't, not today. It's a
Yeah.
different conversation.
Yeah,
But
I definitely was in the church choir, the youth
yeah,
choir, all of that. Yes.
I love that. I love that. So, I mean, you have done some songwriting for some really notable artists, but now you're coming into yourself, into your own as an independent artist in your own right. So, tell me a little bit about the transition from like songwriting into your own artistry, and what was probably like the most challenging part of like making that transition?
Yeah, of course. Actually, I've always been an artist, and that has always been my goal. I got into songwriting when I moved to Atlanta. It was kind of like, well, this is how you become an artist. You be a writer first, write for other artists. Then once you get that major hit, then you can, come out with your own stuff. And I was like, okay, whatever I need to do to release my own music, that's what I'll do. So honestly, when I, got the opportunity to put out my own stuff, it was only like about time. Like, so it really didn't feel like a transition. I feel like it was more of a transition writing for other people because my main goal was to write for myself. And I feel like my music and my writing style is very unique.
Mhm.
And so it was more of a transition to kind of get into the mind of other artists versus writing for myself.
Yeah, you kind of touched on that, like writing for yourself. What would you like if you were somebody that were introducing your music to someone for the first time or those who are just discovering your artistry? How would you describe your sound for them?
Hmm. I used to say that my music is like a gumbo. So I feel like, soul and R&B is just, built in me. But, me being Haitian American, born in Miami, raised in North Carolina, all of those different aspects, I feel like then also gives you something fresh and a mix of different vibes, but everything feels and sound familiar. And the base of that is always soul. So I would describe my music as like a gumbo. It feels good, it feels soulful, it feels like something familiar, but then also the freshness. And I think it's like natural because of all of the places I've lived and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So late last year, you released You First. And then coming up very, 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 very soon, we're recording this, is not out yet, but by the time we release it, it will be. You have a single coming up. So tell us a little bit about the creative process between you first and then compare it to what you're releasing this Friday.
Yeah, so you first. I was really excited about that record because I truly believe it. Like, it felt like a record that I was just also talking to my girlfriends about. Like, I'm telling this dude, he got to go first. He needs to show me first. He needs to make the first move. I'm not gonna get the short end of the stick if something goes wrong. Okay. I don't want to put all of my energy into somebody. They have to go first. And so, I feel like that's really how I think in real life when I talk to my girlfriends. That's what I tell them when we talk about their dating lives and stuff like that. So I just felt like it was so true to who I am when it comes to stuff like that. And then Illest, which will be out on March 21st. I'm super excited about that because it also kind of touches on my vulnerable side. Um, we all go through those feelings of not feeling our best. And, even whether it's for a day because your hair isn't right, your makeup's not right, you just feel,
Yeah.
or whether it's like a longer period, like weeks where you just feel down. Everybody goes through it, but it doesn't take away from you being the illest. Like, you're still that girl that you was yesterday when you were feeling yourself. This is just a moment. And I also feel like it's dope because I bring up, the social media aspect. You see everybody when they're like at their best, but everybody has those moments. We're just not seeing it, because I'm not getting on camera when I'm not feeling my best,
I'm not crying on Beyonce's internet. I'm not doing
know, and
it.
and I pay like and I love for the people who are able to get that vulnerable, it's awesome to see because somebody has to do it or else it'll just be like, dang, nobody goes through anything.
Yeah.
So I'm not there yet, but I am grateful for the people who can do that. Because even the baddest goes through their days, and that doesn't take away from you being amazing just because you're having a moment. And so that song for me really reflects those feelings.
Yeah, that's so important though. Like you said, like especially in this day and age, like social media is for a lot of people, it's a highlight reel. A lot of people are not showing those
Yeah,
vulnerable sides or the realities of things. And everybody's going through struggles, especially these days. Like we've all got something going on, we're just not sharing it. But like you said, very grateful for the people who do share that so that there's that level of, okay, I'm not by myself. Oh wow, they're human. Oh wow, they are going through some stuff too. Like I pray all that gets better, but it's nice to see somebody showing that, that human side that we all crave.
ex-
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. That's amazing. I love that. So yeah, I'm excited for the single. I got a chance to listen to it. So kind of like you kind of touched on it a little bit, but as far as like the difference between the two, you said that this one kind of shows your more vulnerable side. So what do you want fans to get from the new single outside of the fact that, we all go through things, but what about you as an artist?
Yeah, I want them, my main point is to especially women know like you're not alone, you know what I'm saying? Like especially just as an artist, it feels good to me for me to be able to talk about the things that I go through because I'm not really the person. I'm really private. I'm not really the type of person that is really vulnerable, so I feel like this record is healing for me as well. And I think to for other people to see like, okay, she's the homegirl. Like, okay, she gets it. Like, we can, it's kind of like that feeling that you get when you and your girls get together and you're talking like, oh, this happened, or I feel this way. And then your girl's like, oh, you too, girl. I felt the same way. So for me, that's also a chance for me to connect with other people in that way. It's just really like a girl talk, like a girls' night. We're just chilling and you know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know how I feel. But then also, I am that type of person to when I'm going through something, to where when I'm going through something, I sometimes like have to shut off. Like, I
Yeah.
don't answer my phone. I have to get through it first, and then I could talk about it. So I think that song also reflects, like, how I really feel, when I go through, when I go through things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, absolutely. And I think that, like I said earlier, like that's something that we all need to hear every day, every chance that we get. So
Yeah.
let's kind of like backtrack a little bit on to some of your like musical inspiration. So you have so much music that you've released, right? So if you could do a remix to any of your songs, I don't know if you've seen recently, like Chris Brown was doing the residuals challenge and things like that. So if you could collaborate with any artist on one of your songs, who would it be and which song would it be?
Oh my gosh. Hmm. Okay, this is just off of the top because there's probably like a lot of artists that
Yeah.
I would
Give me,
collaborate.
I mean, you can give me a couple if you want to, but like if you,
Okay,
yeah.
off the top, maybe New Religion, and it would be with Frank Ocean. I love Frank Ocean. I think he's super dope. I think that'd be a dope collab.
Yeah.
Um, and I could hear him like on New Religion, I feel like that would be dope. Oh my gosh, like there's so many dope artists. Like I just love working with dope people. So, but I think the top songs would be probably Trap or Die and New Religion.
Okay.
I think those are vibey songs that could be dope to get remixed with a dope artist for sure.
Frank Ocean. So what are do you have like a top two favorite Frank Ocean songs?
I mean, the most popular song, Thinking About You, I mean, like that song I still play to this
Okay.
day. I just love his writing style.
Yeah.
His album Orange, I thought that was dope. Like he's just a dope writer.
Mhm.
So when I think about artists that are a little more like current, he's like one of the top because he's also a songwriter and he
Yeah.
writes his own stuff and he's super dope.
Yeah. Well, speaking of current, because you're still current, so how would you say, who would you say, I would say, is an artist that compares to, I guess, old school artists, right? But still brings that new element to like current music that you would, let's say, not necessarily work with, but that you can see yourself collabing with, like a new artist, in
Okay.
addition to Frank Ocean.
Okay. I don't know how new this person is, but they are super huge. I would say Bruno Mars has like kind of like, the old school vibe, but is super current, super amazing. And then there was one other person that I was thinking about. Oh, Adele. So those
Oh,
are two artists that I feel like kind of give you like that old school vibe, and I
yeah.
would love to work with, and they're super dope. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about like where R&B is and your place in R&B and soul music? How do you feel about that?
You know, I love the fact that people are able to be creative, and I feel like this time is a time to where, you could just create what you feel, and I'm really excited about that. I think now also even for me coming in as an artist, I do have a little bit of a unique sound, but it's still that R&B and soul, and I feel like this is a perfect time for people to really be receptive because so many people are able to be creative and really just sing what they feel, and there's no like set of rules that you have to play by in order to release music and it be successful. So it's really exciting to me.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. So for everybody that's listening and watching, where can they find you and how can they support you?
Yes, first off, support me by listening and loving my music and letting me know. Like, I love when people reach out to me and be like, girl, this song made me feel this way, or this song got me through this. That really motivates me, and encourages me. But my Instagram is Anastasia G. That's also my Twitter, my YouTube, everything is Anastasia G.
Perfect. I love
Except for
that.
Spotify. Spotify is just Anastasia.
Of course. Yes, yes. I'm so excited for you. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
talking to me today. Like, of course, we're going to continue to support your music and this journey that you're on and all the amazing things that are going to come with it.
You so much. I appreciate being here.